Good morning. It is a rainy morning here in London, Ohio. I'm here at the Speedway, exit 79. I find myself here a lot. At this particular exit off of I-70, there's a Pilot, a Waffle House, TA, and the Speedway. Now, the clips I just showed you, this place is packed like sardines. Like, it's going to be a challenge getting out of here. I'm going to have to go through the Catskill backwards just to get out because of how they're parked over here. And it's funny because it used to not be that way. So what happened? Well, TA went from like 10 paid parking spots to 80% of the lot paid parking spots. And the free spots that are still left, and I could have gotten a free spot yesterday, but it's real tight in that little section. For those of you who've been there, you know what I'm talking about. I almost had my hood took out a few years ago in that little section. So if I don't pay to park there and I don't get the 3 spots over there by the truck wash, I park over here. Occasionally I'll have some killing mosquitoes. Occasionally I'll have, some points or whatever, and I'll pay for a spot there. But I try to utilize that, like, for nights that I'm having to run late, or I know I'm not going to get parking. And that's the good thing about paid parking. That's the great thing about paid parking, especially if you're running up northeast. If you could reserve a spot and know you got parking, when the shipper's not going to get you out till like 10 or 11 p.m. in the Northeast, that's worth its weight in gold, right? But places like, I don't know, Mount Vernon, Illinois, or London, Ohio, it's a little excessive. And I have seen this lot fill up here at Speedway faster than the TA. Because there's a lot of drivers that are struggling out here right now. Either their company driver's barely making something and their company doesn't pay for paid parking, or an owner-operator trying to reduce his expenses. And what's ironic about that is that the TA, I guess TA Petro kind of reported a loss in their first quarter earnings. They're in the red. And I imagine their answer is to create more paid parking. But this is the perfect example of how that's backfiring on them. This Speedway is not the cleanest place. Horrible bathrooms. Horrible parking lot. It's like driving on the surface of the moon. Horrible service, too. But yet, everybody's parked over here before they park over at the TA. And I wonder if there's a pencil pusher there at TA that doesn't realize that there's a revenue loss, maybe, with the excessive paid parking. Meanwhile, the Petros that, like, the Iowa 80 Petros, like the one in Oak Grove, Joplin, Iowa 80, they haven't gotten excessive. Their business is still pretty good. I'm all for paid parking, but with some restraint. There's, Mount Vernon in Illinois, It's not a real busy place. But yet, 90% of the lot there is paid parking. Now, the Petro in Bordentown, New Jersey, that's always been paid parking. That's kind of necessary. You know, and the concept of paid parking is not a new concept. I remember my dad in the 80s having to pay for parking at a lot of truck stops, especially in the Northeast. We used to run to New York City all the time. But TA Petro have taken it to a whole new level. Now, there are times when I wish Love's would at moments, because sometimes the only parking you have is a Love's, and you know that when you get in there that late, you're not going to get parking. But Love's has kind of like stepped up on the quantity. In other words, they're building a ton of new stores, and they're making all the parking easy and a lot of it too. So Love's has been a good thing. But it's just kind of funny that this TA has added more and more and more paid parking, and they're getting less and less business because kind of ironic, don't you think? Anyways, this isn't a video really about paid parking as far as like whether I'm for it or against it, because I am for it. Just, it's like everything else, man. Take it too far. What are you gonna do though? That's trucking, I guess, right? Anyways, enjoy your coffee, man. Take it easy.